So in Sandbox 2.2.0, Antaeus Wards finally got fixed. They stated that they fixed an issue where improved slide was not consistently being applied to Antaeus Wards. Now, in the process of receiving that fix, which actually makes a huge difference, Antaeus Wards also got a slight buff. It seems that the consistency of its reflective vents seems to proc more often and proc for longer, meaning that those times that you don't just land the timing perfectly, you can still reflect supers and rockets and other things. So today we decided we're going to go ahead and re-review this exotic because yes, I think Antaeus has risen to be a top tier exotic here in Crucible. So right off the bat, let's take a look at this exotic perk called Reflective Vents. It improves slide. Sliding also reflects incoming projectiles, and reflecting projectiles grants you super energy. A triple whammy. Now, recently, it actually cut your slide distance by half. It was terrible. I mean, every time I would slide in a shotgun battle, I would pretty much stop halfway through the battle just because my slide distance was cut in half, and then proceed to take a shotgun to the face. So Antaeus was definitely not great. It had the potential to sling supers and projectiles back at your enemies, but due to that slide distance being cut down, reflective vents here required our timing to be too perfect. So the main application of the exotic was just not there, which is why it's got a 2 out of 5 star rating on Destiny Item Manager. Now let's talk about that slide distance. That slide distance, guys, I feel like I'm rocking knee pads. I don't know if you could tell or not, I'm sliding a pretty decent amount of distance, on the level of Dune Marchers. And I always know whenever I'm rocking something that's kind of on the same level as knee pads from Destiny 1 because I tend to start over sliding. I slide past my enemies. So honestly, today resulted in a lot of awkward shotgun play on my part due to adapting to that slide distance. But when it comes to Antaeus Wards, I would much rather our slide distance here to be further rather than shorter. Now, due to this change, Antaeus Wards has also got a buff in other things. It seems that the reflective vents seems to not only be directly in front of me, but all around me. You see, guys, when you slide, there's actually a shield that pops up, almost on the level of Juggernaut back in Destiny 1. It pops up briefly, but it's directly in front of you. And previously, you had to be looking directly at your enemy in order for that shield to register and stop you from getting damaged. But there's a lot of times today that I got hit from the side that I know for sure that that shield was not visually there in front of it, but it still stopped me from receiving damage. Or if I did receive damage, it was a very small amount. Now, in order to deflect back projectiles, and projectiles can be anything, guys. It can be a fusion rifle shot, a super, a shotgun shot, pretty much everything in the game outside of a melee or melee-based supers. If you're looking to actually deflect the shot or reflect the shot, don't know the terms and don't know the difference, but if you're looking to take the enemy's ammunition and throw it back in their face, you will need to be facing them. You need to be sliding directly into their shot in order to reflect that shot back. So if somebody happens to snipe you from the side, it will stop that incoming damage or at least minimize it, but don't expect that damage to be reflected back at your opponent. I think it actually does reflect, I think it goes somewhere. I just don't know where. So with that being said, is Antaeus Wards an exotic for you? No lie, guys, this exotic will bring the inner ape out of you. I have never aped this hard in my life. This is on the same level as Juggernaut back in Destiny 1, and that got way out of hand. Luckily for this doesn't just require you to just sprint in the middle of open field. This requires you to actually slide, so you actually have to be doing something in order to gain these reflective benefits. But yes, it will result in you becoming an all-outright ape. There was not a single 1v1 that I attempted today that I felt like I would lose. Now granted, there was definitely 1v1s that I still lost. I'm just saying that there was many of them that I went into and I just took the no fucks given approach. I mean, none. And that's what this exotic brings out of you. Now, the combination that I was rocking here was actually a really lethal combo. I was getting maybe 4 or 5 supers per game, and this was in 6v6. Straight up overkill. I was rocking 2 lightweight weapons. I was rocking a Parcel of Stardust, which is the Gambit shotgun from Forsaken. Not a bad roll, but definitely could be a much better roll than what I have here. The main reason why I'm using it though is because it came with lightweight frame, so it allowed me to move even faster. And I was also rocking Waking Vigil, which is a hand cannon here with lightweight frame as well. So again, another weapon that as soon as I get the swap to it, I'm still able to move swift. And the power weapon of choice here is of course Acreus, because why not? Now as far as armor pieces go, yes, I was definitely rocking a helmet tier with pump action. Now pump action, normally it's a perk most people don't think about inside of PvP, but the reason why we're rocking pump action is because we actually are able to double dip here on bonus super energy. Number one, pump action gives us bonus super energy on shotgun kills, which is amazing. Considering that we now have essentially a juggernaut shield in front of us to push in on our enemies, getting a shotgun kill here won't be something complicated. It's pretty easy. No lie, guys, this is a very one-dimensional playstyle. It's about as brain dead as you can possibly be. But then the other thing that we're double dipping on in terms of super regeneration is reflective vents, because for every projectile that you reflect, this is also granting you super energy. Hence why you see my super constantly coming back. There's a lot of super gameplay in this. Normally I don't like to incorporate that in here, but the reason why I'm incorporating it is just to showcase how many supers we were actually pulling out. And of course I'm rocking bottom tree striker, which is a very nasty loadout here, because even when you're sliding within your super, and on bottom tree striker, you are constantly sliding. And so this is another way to continuously kind of keep yourself alive. And again, with every one of these melee super kills, or just a regular melee kill, you're going to trigger health regeneration. All around, guys, this is a very lethal loadout. Now, I know a lot of this is around 6v6, and a lot of people will say anything can slay on 6v6. I get it. But Antaeus Wards kind of pulls a card out of Peregrine Greaves. You see, there's sometimes, even in competitive, that Antaeus Wards can be super useful. Those times that you're down in a survival game, and you need a team wipe to get back on top. Especially when people are picking up things like rockets for heavy. Deflecting that rocket shot can result in your team retaking power and getting the upper hand on those opposing teams. So before 2.2, I would say Antaeus Wards was a fun exotic. An exotic to go up into mayhem with, collect some clips, mess with some opponents, but that was the extent of it. I used it a little bit in 6v6, but there was definitely better options for you. With the most recent change and the increase in consistency there with reflective vents, Antaeus Wards is an exotic that can be used even in competitive. And even if you're not getting reflection kills like every single game, you'll constantly have the opposing team second guessing themselves. So for my Titan mains, if you feel like playing like an absolute ape, this exotic is for you. Now, we will be doing a few other builds with this. I actually want to look into Swashbuckler. Yeah, y'all know that trait. I want it on a sidearm or a shotgun, preferably a shotgun, the new Gambit one. And I want to rock it with shoulder charge and Antaeus Wards. So essentially, I want to be able to slide into my enemies, get the shoulder charge off, proc 5 stacks of Swashbuckler, and then turn around and start shotgunning everyone, which should honestly be one of the nastiest things we have ever seen. I'm hoping it will be. So if you happen to have the Gambit shotgun with Swashbuckler, as well as a bunch of other nasty perks, preferably like opening shot, let me know, because we are interested. Now, before I let you guys go, shout out to my Patreon supporters. I love you guys. Thank you all so much, man, for the direct support. It's very, very much appreciated. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.